And I just had to laugh out loud and go, good God, subconscious, please. No need to be such a drama queen. Because thinking about the death of my wife...
Memory comes when memory's old. I am ever the first to know.
Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. Here in Shelton, Washington, it isn't sunny. It's lighter than it has been. It's less foggy and gray outside. It wasn't raining last night, so there's less cloud cover. There might even be sun. Thumbs up for that. And I'm going to talk more about what happened yesterday, but I slept some last night. Never well, but at least I slept, and so I didn't get much done yesterday. I did have some sleeping issues, but then I also did manage to go walkies and all, and that's good. Definitely a thumbs up, but little ghost did pass on yesterday, and I'm going to talk about that. First, yay for YouTube. If you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, any comment, even for the algorithm, that would be double plus good. And I'd like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are literally beautiful and literally awesome. You actually do help keep me alive. Hokey smokes, with the cost of everything going up, my disability staying flat, and my rent jumping up a lot. If it weren't for you all here, I would be hosed like a Christmas monkey. If you would like to help me out, become a patron. Links are in the video description, along with a PayPal for possible donations, an Amazon wishlist link with things like cat food, a post office box. You send me anything at all, and I will open it up on camera. Thumbs up for that. Well, hey, front-loading the video is over. And yes, again, little ghost went and passed on yesterday. After I did my vlogging and before I started having sleeping problems, he was having more issues trying to breathe than he had been. And I wasn't feeling good about it, but life is life, and he's been having problems. And then I fell asleep. I had like 2 hours I fell asleep. And then I did some things and then realized that I wasn't hearing him breathe. And then checked on him, and while I had fallen asleep, he had lost the fight, and he has released his carefully hoarded resources back into the world. But when I was checking on him and getting him out of the bin there, his little belly was pretty swollen and pretty tight. So I think what happened, because I'm not about to do a necropsy, an animal version of an autopsy, to find out, but I believe what happened was you can have two types of tumors, whether you're a human being or like a hamster, but in hamster they're much more prevalent. You can have an outside the abdominal wall tumor or an inside the abdominal wall tumor. When you have an outside your abdominal wall tumor, your tumor has room to grow. You've got the whole outside world out here. When it's an inside the abdominal wall tumor, the only place that it can expand to is by squishing your other organs. And so eventually the tumor grows so big that the other organs get so squashed you can't live. And that apparently is what happened to that poor little guy. So he passed on and he's gone, and I didn't do well yesterday. I had the issues of both him passing on and having fallen asleep with hypoxia. When you stop breathing, it really hurts your brain and your lungs. Yay! So it took a long time to deal with that, and then dealing with my poor hamster. My subconscious is a massive, massive drama queen. I am a drama queen in real life. Once I get to know you even a little bit, you realize that as expressive and as much as I do this waving around of hands and facial expressions for the camera, that is nothing compared to what I do in real life. It's not anything I ever planned on doing. It's just been a part of my personality. I am extra expressive. I am a drama queen, basically. My subconscious is even more so. When this happened, I thought back to the mid-90s, late 90s, when I worked at this one nursing home. I had found something on one of the residents that I was not happy about, and I reported it. Later on, I was called up at my home and was asked questions. I've never been good at answering questions. While I was answering these questions, I had a song playing in my head, and it was only after the call was done that I was able to pay attention to the song and I realized that it was a Peter Gabriel song called I Don't Remember, where the chorus lyrics are, I don't remember, I don't recall, I've got no memory of anything at all. I didn't choose that song, but it sure fit the situation. Well, I had a couple days ago watched a video reaction to the song Alone Again, Naturally, by Gilbert O'Sullivan. Came out in the early 70s, but it's still a very, very good song. It's the people at the time, they didn't realize what they were walking into when they listened to it. The song itself, it's literally about a guy saying that if he doesn't feel any better very, very soon, he's going to go up to something very tall and jump. And he talks about why. You know, how when his father died, it left his mother devastated and left her alone again, naturally. And then when she died, it left him alone again, naturally. And then what the worst thing was is he was about to get married, but he was left alone on the altar. His bride didn't show up, leaving him alone again, naturally. Emotions. That song was playing in my head as I was just, after having taken care of Ghost, after having made a comment somewhere about it, I realized that song was playing in my head, Alone Again. And at that point, I mean, I was really sad, almost crying, and I started to very soon. But I had to laugh at how much of a drama queen my subconscious was being, because yeah, I was sad that my hamster died, but hamsters do that. So it's not kind of unexpected. So it was like, Alone Again, Naturally. Yeah, I'm sad. That's a bit of an overreaction there, subconscious. Good God. No need to be so much of a drama queen. Later on Walkies, I was thinking about this because Ghost's death and the end of his life represents more than just a hamster dying. A hamster dying is sad, but I'm not going to be thoroughly devastated by it. It represents more than just his dying. My wife died slowly and with breathing issues, and then died that way. So it represented not just his own death, but how my wife died. It represented inside of my head the death of my parents just in the past couple years, and the death of my in-laws in the past couple years, my aging other pet, my own encroaching mortality. I mean, I just turned 60. The average age of the American male at death in the United States with access to money and healthcare is 74. A lot less if you don't have access to money, healthcare, and access to travel to get to places for healthcare. Like me. And I have been watching in the news all the reports of people who do have access to money and healthcare dying before they're even 70. So, yeah, I mean, if I'm lucky and things work out averagely, I've got about 10 years left. So, yeah, it was representing something pretty heavy duty, his finally passing on. And so I was thinking about this, and I had more music playing in my head, and I stopped to really listen to the song that was playing in my head, and I just had to laugh out loud and go, good God, subconscious, please No need to be such a drama queen, because thinking about the death of my wife and stopping to listen to the lyrics, it was Bohemian Rhapsody, where Freddie Mercury was singing, "Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me." And it's like, good God. You can be too much of a drama queen. My subconscious is being too much of a drama queen yesterday. Hokey smokes. But yeah, all those things are serious. I did not get much done yesterday. In fact, nothing at all. I hadn't even realized Ghost was gone while I was editing. It was after I was done. And then after that, both hypoxia and my brain just reacting to that. So it's been a fun couple of days. Well, just day. Well, for him going, but the whole lead up to it. I do have some other things that I do want to kind of talk about. I didn't do a whole bunch of like creative thinking. I was a little bit of stuck last night. But one thing that I did think of, in the comments, we have Floramu talking about different types of horror and graphic horror, and my type of horror being different from the type of horror that they would do. This type of horror that I have been doing of late is different from the type of horror that I have done as well. I have been leaning into body horror for both the Razor's Edge and heavily leaning into body horror for the Cryptid setting. I've never really done that. Horror was, I've liked body horror movies. I've never really wanted to do body horror type stuff. But this has just been heavy duty on the body horror. And I'm not quite sure why, but for me it just fits. It makes sense. It's not tack it on just to be gross or anything like that. It's an actual fundamental, integral part of both settings. Now, for the Razor's Edge setting, the whole body horror is just, you could be eaten at any time. And there are so many people and so many predators that when you go traveling, yeah, you come across human corpses all the time because it's a dangerous place. And you're always at a risk of being eaten, but that's about it for the whole body horror stuff. Past the risk of being eaten and all that, you're fine out there. You're going to be stumbling across half-eaten corpses a lot. You're going to be stumbling across the softly decaying remains of human bodies. And there are horrific, violent things like the Abernathy beast that devours 3,200 people there, when the kaiju rampages through Apple Rock, the city, and 15,000 people die. Yeah, there's body horror and death in it. But the whole cryptid part, even with characters like Jerry Brighthammer, I've said that you change when your vision clears and your third eye opens and you can see the real world as it actually is. You do change. Even though it's not a visible change, it is a sort of body horror change because you have been changed fundamentally. The extra universal parts of you are still you. Reality and other people still feel it and sense it vaguely, knowing that something's not right, and so it's easier just to slide the eye away, not pay attention, than it is to actually have reality deal with it, because you are a part of the universe, but something's wrong. Yeah, you're changed in such a way that normal people don't really feel comfortable around you until the point that they don't even remember you're in the room. They can't even talk to you because they see you, but they don't. People like Jerry just cannot go back to the real world of human beings because human beings just don't see him anymore. They may sense him, but they don't see him. He can't interact with the world anymore. So it's a sort of body horror in that you are now ostracized from the human race because you have changed. And then there are the changes to the characters like James Baker, whose body, he was in like late 20s, and his body changes. He's now, he goes from 5'7" wiry fellow into 6 foot something, big, hairy. That's not his body, but it is. But it's not the one he grew up in. And so many characters have to deal with this form of your body has changed. You have to deal with it. And your body has changed. Other people are going to be horrified by it too. You're just horrified because you get to see what makes the human body tick because you just saw someone be disassembled in front of you. So I'm not sure why, but it fits the setting and the characters for the leaning into the body horror part of it, especially since I've mentioned there's the character of King Mike. King Mike used to be just Big Mike, who used to be just Mike, and Mike is a ghoul, devours human flesh, a dark cryptid, but does not kill, and in fact, he's really, really ethical and moral. One of the reasons that he continues to be the king of this area after 125 years is the presence underneath the manor has no mind, no will to do things. It just wants to be used. Can be used to idle, can be used to be used. And it is a horrific, nightmarish thing that can be used for intense destruction, and Mike is terrified of anyone but him using it. But Mike is a dark cryptid because Mike devours human flesh. He's a ghoul. He does not kill, but one of the mandates of his as king is if you kill someone and you don't finish eating them, you send them up here. If you kill someone with no intention of eating them, you send the body up here. So Mike has a collection of human corpses everywhere up in his court as they go green enough for him to eat. Yeah, that's a lot of body horror. And Mike is only like 5'4". He's a thick, stocky fellow with spiky black hair that just goes everywhere, but very urbane, very smart, and runs the whole place as best he can. It is just a loose assemblage of people, and so there's no real thing that he does as like, okay, these are the laws, these are the rules, we're going to hold court. No, it's more like, okay, you're a tiny kingdom over there, you need to give me a little bit of tribute, I will do this tiny bit of thing for you, past that, have fun, you're great. There's no real mandates of things to do, it's just, as a head of authority, he's taking the place. But yeah, the place is just stacked with corpses and he eats them. Luckily for Mike, ghouls also exude something around them, more like a field that is very antiseptic and antibacterial. It also keeps away things like insects and smaller mammals. They are actually just driven away. There is something about ghouls that keeps human meat from attracting the wrong kinds of parasites. Because after all, if flies and other insects are eating your meat, you're not going to have anything to eat when they're done. So the bodies are left to go green in just the right way. And then, when it's almost sliding off the bone, it's just good to eat. Yeah, body horror. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count in American Sign Language, well. We have Chris, thumbs up, thank you very, very much and good to see you. Big T, thank you. AIGOOGAN, I think it is. I'm far enough away, I cannot read my monitor well. Thank you very much. JAYY, thumbs up and thank you much. Flora Mew, greatly appreciate, good to see you. Dylan Mitchell, thumbs up and thank you. The Crawl. I'm going to have to answer this one in text as well. Which one, For or Against Darkness or No Quest, is my favorite so far? That's a hard question. I really like both of them for different reasons. So they're both good. Luckily, one is free and the other one is cheap. So thumbs up. We have Ezekiel Zim, thumbs up and thank you. There is Cake, thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated and good to see you in the comments. One day I'm going to answer these questions, I promise. And then there is Sone 1991, thank you. Did I already thank? Let me take a look here. Yes, indeed. So I've got to go past Ben B. Thumbs up and thank you much. Good to see you. There is Joaquim J.A. with a accent type mark MTAFORS. Thumbs up and thank you. And Jesse Koskinen. Good to see you in the comments as well. Thumbs up, thank you much. And I read that comment, says you're very busy, have been busy at work. Hopefully you can get caught up. Hopefully things slow down for you. Oof. Well, son of a gun, I'm going to try and do what I can with all the heavy stuff going on inside of my head. I still got phone calls I need to make, so here's hoping. And hopefully you can get done the things that you need to get done. And if you can't, survival mode is important. And of course, with all the horrific things happening out there in the world, just take as much care as you can. Take appropriate precautions for your situation. You don't need to get hurt. You don't need to get sick. You just need to be careful. There are dangerous things out there. And of course, if you do hear the mournful howl of the created cryptid's bus horn echoing through the fog, yeah, your name is on it. It's looking for you, and you're going to get smeared. Best just accept the inevitable. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.